Okay, here we go. Happy day, everybody. Happy day, all right. Who in here, raise your hand if you watch our show on YouTube or Abundance Plus, our vlog. Woo! Okay, good. Thank you guys so very, very much. Does anybody want to be in the vlog? Woo! You gotta be excited to be vlog. Okay, you gotta act like you're really excited to see me this morning. You gotta clap and scream. I'm gonna get back here. Editor some notes. Austin, take out the part where I asked them to clap and scream and bribed them. All right? And let's act like they're real excited to see me, okay? All right, thank you. All right, got a little behind the scenes here. Okay. No, seriously, thank you for watching. Let's get out my notes here and stay on track. The beautiful one is here. There would be no Justin Rhodes without Rebecca Rhodes. Henry in pink girl boots. As I say, only at a Homestead event can we come here, Rebecca. Just relax, Rebecca, it's gonna be okay. And not get judged for that. He could be barefoot. He's got his sister's shoes on, because you all know, because a lot of you have a lot of kids, we couldn't find the shoes this morning. So no judgment coming from y'all this morning. And that's why Henry is wearing pink boots this morning, but he doesn't care. They work. They light up. If you ask him, he'll show you. They light up. Okay. You guys came here. Well, the title is When Homesteading Hurts. How to Thrive. I've been through a lot of hurt. This is going to be hopefully not a mood kill, but this is going to be the reality check for homesteading. It's not all unicorns, fart, and rainbows. It's hard. There are two kinds of homestead hurt. You are hurt and homesteading, meaning you're alone and you want to homestead, or you already have an injury, you already have an illness, you already are older and you want to homestead. So there's that kind of hurt, so you're hurt and homesteading. Or you are, homesteading has hurt you. This gentleman there, the cowboy there in the black hat, he said, I was talking to him and he's like, I'm coming here just to prepare because I'm just getting started and I want to be prepared if problems happen. I said, she already said win. And I said, win every day. You know, my father-in-law, Big Daddy, everybody know Big Daddy from the show? He's a very wise guy. Grew up in construction. I worked for him at some point in construction. And problems all the time in construction. Rework, messing up, people are late, you're doing it wrong, there are all kinds of problems. And at one point he said to me, Justin, it wouldn't be construction without problems. And Joel Salatin asked me once, we were talking, I put out a lot of content, and he said, Justin, do you ever run out of content? You're already shaking your head. I said, Joel, do I ever run out of problems? He laughed just like that. Then I don't. That's the story. If you've got a problem and you want something, then you have a story. Anyway, that was not in the notes. I have notes to hopefully keep me on track and get me done in an hour. You guys are going to get a few bonuses here outside the notes. So you got two different kinds of hurts. Let's talk about 8 different hurts I've identified for you note takers. Let's just name them and then we'll go back through for you note takers. There's a hurt where you could be alone and coming into homesteading. And that's hard. It would be hard to do it by yourself. I butchered my first chickens by myself with little tiny kids. It was terrible. It was awful. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. You can also be lonely. That was our story. When we get in homesteading, all your normal friends and family think you're crazy. Well, I got news for you. You are crazy. But that doesn't mean we're not right. You can be crazy and right, all right? Number 2, injured. You can be injured or you can come into it injured or be injured. I asked the lady there, arm brace on, did you come into homesteading hurt or did homesteading hurt you? It could be either one. Oh, by the way, our hosts, I've had friends who've had roosters leave their talon, is that what you call it, the talon? Talon inside the kid's skull, between the skull and the skin, and have to go to the hospital to get the rooster talon removed. The people we're staying at, they're out there with a guard dog, they have it on a leash, the guard dog gets excited, pulls and catches the mom, she breaks an arm, the kid gets a laceration, mom and daughter are going to the hospital together. Disease, chronic illness is up. It's like 60% now. You used to not be this way. And we are more chronically ill than we ever have been. We don't need to get into why, but it's just happening. I have chronic Lyme disease. My wife, Rebecca, has Hashimoto's. And older. A lot of people are in their 60s and want to get started with this. Or you're getting older and you're alone. Finances. You know, the homesteading can make or break you. It can save you money or it can cost. What's the joke on the socials, Rebecca? People will show their first egg and they'll be like, my $1,800 egg. So they spent all this money on the coop and it took them 6 months to get there. Everybody like, you're laughing? You all can identify with this? Got some crazy ticket ladies in here. If you spent $1,800 on your first egg, you might be a crazy ticket lady. Okay? What did I say? Where was I? Finances. Okay. 6, overwhelmed. Somebody's like, yeah. Rebecca and I, no. And then 7, burnt out. Those might seem like the same thing, but we're going to talk about how those might be different. Rebecca and I are going through a little burnout season right now. Joel was telling me that in one of these interviews, it's typical that 6 or 7 year mark, there's a burnout. It could be marriage. They say that 6, 7 year of marriage is the most difficult. That same way with homesteading. There's just a phenomenon about that. Maybe that's why in the Bible they do the year of Jubilee and take the 7th year off. I don't know. Okay. Burnout, disaster. I'm going to get to talk to you guys about what Hurricane Helene did to us. And we love Western North Carolina mountains. One reason is because we don't get hurricanes until we do. We experienced our first earthquake this year. We didn't get earthquakes. There we go. Fact check. Fact check. Rebecca, it was such a good story. It was such a good story that we just started getting earthquakes. And now we've had tornadoes. No, we haven't had tornadoes, but I won't. At this point, I won't be surprised. It's getting crazy. Okay. Where was I? Okay, let's tackle these. What time do I got? I got to quit at 10:30? Okay. 10:30, is that right? 10? I better put on the gas. 10. All right. 10:30. Okay. 10:15. I don't know. Until Roy comes back up here and pulls me off the stage. Okay. Alone and lonely. Let's talk about that. A lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, how do I get my spouse on board? They don't want to hear my answer. The short answer is, don't. If you're asking that question, this probably wasn't in the vision when you got married. And if this is going to cause a division, stay married. The relationship is more important than homesteading. Because we have our reasons for coming to homesteading. Don't forget those reasons that you came to homesteading. If you came to homesteading for health, and then homesteading for some whatever reason deters from that, quit. The health is more important. The bigger reason and the bigger why is more important. There are some tips if you want to bring your spouse on board. Act within reason. A garden's fine, they say. Just don't get chickens. Don't get chickens. Grow the garden. Maybe ask them if you're feeling saucy and maybe they're feeling pretty good. Come harvest with me. Do the fun things with them. Cook them delicious meals from them. And maybe over time. But here's the other thing. Your spouse may be on the football forum saying, how do I get my spouse excited about football? So sit down and watch the football game. Play the video game, God forbid, right? Just meet them where they're at. And ultimately the relationship is more important. Our social life, when we became homesteaders, everybody thought we were nuts. I mean, thankfully we were starting to be weird. even before that, doing home births and stuff like that, and then we're eating healthier, and I never had a real job since I was 16 and worked at Walmart for 6 weeks. I never looked back. Been an entrepreneur ever since. And by the time we're converting a school bus to travel with our 4 kids, 7 and under, to every single state in America in 2017, people ask, do your parents think you're crazy? They wrote us off a long time ago. So everybody thought we were nuts, and we lost our friends. You can lose family. And what was that book, Rebecca? It's called When Parting, Necessary Endings. There's a book called Necessary Endings. Sometimes a friend isn't a friend forever. And you can move on, and it's okay. So we had to find new friends. We did, and it took time. You got to give it time. Let's go on to injured. I saw some injured people here, some broken arms, some things like that. How do you do it? I broke my arm once. We had little kids. I had 2 milk cows. I had a surgery. I had to hold my arm up like this. It had a silly foam thing underneath it. I had 4 teeth. Well, one teeth on the cow was bogus. So I had 7 teats to milk. How do you do it? 1 hand at a time, 1 teat at a time. I got no crazy solutions for you there. Milk 1 hand at a time. Just do what you can. Oh, one thing that got us through that time is our method. We do something called calf sharing. So when the cow gives birth to the calf, we let the calf have the milk. And in industry, they would have taken that calf away and it would have never suckled on the teat. But we let the calf have the milk, even for the first week or 2, until we're going out there in the morning and there's no milk. And so then when there's no milk, we do calf separate, and we separate the calf from the mom in the evening or afternoon, depending on how much milk we want. And we milk that next day. Well, early on, we used that for rest once a week, to go to a Homestead event and not make the farm sitter do it. Or when I got injured, I don't think I milked that. She was like, I'm not sure, but I don't think we milked that first day. I mean, since then, we milk every day. We enjoy it. We believe in something, doing something difficult every single day, and doing something precious and sovereign and higher than we are every day. For the Dohertys, it's daily mass. For Rebecca and Justin and our family, it's milking a cow. People shame us for we have an ice cream maker. You push the button. It's a nice, fancy Italian ice cream maker. Rebecca we quit doing grains, but she sold her wheat grinder to get this. It was a great sacrifice to get this ice cream maker. And people say, you don't grind it out, put the salt in there, and make the memories. I said, we make the memories in the field. We got enough memories. Let's push the button and have the ice cream. That was a bonus. This one I have no idea where I was going with that. But anyway, that's nowhere in here. I look to Rebecca every once in a while. Sometimes, she's my check. Okay, reactive. The worst thing I went through was reactive arthritis. Anybody remember that? It was like every bone in my body was broken. I had got Campylobacter. We had processing meat birds, and I ate something during the processing without washing my hands. And so 4 days later, now did the Homestead hurt me or was I being an idiot? But that's part of it. That's part of it. When you're homesteading, you're gonna make mistakes. Things are gonna die. I have 355 animals at the home right now. How big of a chance you think something's going wrong right now? Greg's laughing, he knows. Because he might have gotten a call too. I got a call last night. The cows are getting out, We got the bull that's kind of figuring out how to lift up the net and not get shocked because of his horns. So I'm dealing with that at the farm center last night. Anyway, I've got this reaction, so that happens sometimes. You don't know why when you have livestock, you have dead stock, and you don't always know why. And maybe a predator got it, maybe it's illness, you don't know what illness, and maybe it's your fault, maybe it's not. But sometimes it's going to be your fault. Sometimes the kid is going to step on the chick in the brooder, or you are. I've stepped on a chick in the brooder. Okay, I've made some mistakes, and I've had friends who the child didn't fill up the water in the Cornish cross, and all the 50 or 75 or how many it was, dead. So be easy on yourself. Your worst situation is likely still better than the best conventional situation where the food's coming from. And don't fake things don't die in the industry because you didn't do it. Okay? Things are dying, mistakes are happening. And it's gonna feel terrible. Just embrace the suck and just keep going. So during this time, so I got what Campylobacter, so I got sick at first, real high temperature. And then in 40-year-old people, 5% of them get what you call reactive arthritis. What? Aren't you liking how I'm just throwing out numbers?
What was the number?
I said in their 40s,
Yeah.
it's males.
Yeah.
So in your 40s, males are prone to get this. 3 to 5%. What did I say? I'm just making up numbers. I like it. 3 to 5%.
I need a microphone.
So she needs a microphone. She said, "Get him a mic. Get the fact checker a mic." They get. So there's a rare chance that I got this, but I got this. We didn't know. I mean, it started in my wrist. I just thought I slept funny, and I swore it was broken. We went to the hospital for X-rays. They don't find nothing wrong with it. We're like, what? And then it just starts going on tour around my whole body, and then suddenly I'm like an old man. I literally got grandma's walker. I literally had to get the kids to pull up the side-by-side. We nicknamed that side-by-side wheelie, because it was my wheelchair. That's how I had to do it. And when you are hurt and injured, you have to let people help you. You are proud, is what you are. You're not giving anybody any service for not letting them help you. Humble yourself and allow people to help you. Because what does it say? It says it is more blessed to give than to receive. So let people give to you. This man, I will never forget him. I don't think we had even talked at this point. We had talked to his wife, but he had heard of this. He came that very first day that it was so bad, and he helped me milk my cows. I'll never forget him for that. And I'm always indebted to him for that. And it blessed his heart, didn't it? When Rebecca and I first started getting into homesteading and we needed help, we didn't know how to put in a garden, we asked the one guy we knew. He was in his 50s. We were in our 20s, a young couple, wanting to put in their first garden. Do you not think we blessed his heart? Wouldn't that be so wonderful to go and help somebody install their very first garden? Let them help. I mean, when I read this book during this time. It's called The Sales Machine. You read that, Greg? That's a good one. Greg Judy in the house, everyone. Woo! And Gina. Yeah. Woo! Greg and Gina, that's where I got my sheep from. My hardy sheep that are still kicking and going strong. Give us 11 lambs this year? Okay. So, the Sales Machine. In it, they talked about giving yourself 6 critical tasks. You can do 6 critical tasks in a day. First, you have to have a goal, and then you can usually accomplish 6 critical things. So even if you're ill, what are the 6 most? You might have. This is a big problem in homesteading. You have a dozen, 15 things you want to do. I want to get bees back. Okay, we lost the bees in the hurricane, but they're not in the critical tasks. Our one word for the year is recover. And so that's not necessarily going to be able to be a part of it. But when I was sick, what are my 6 critical tasks? I was so sick, I said, I think I can do 2. Okay? And I said, I'm going to vlog. Let's put up the video every day. I had to adjust in this little camera. I was starting the record button with my knuckle. Rebecca had to hold the camera a lot. We got through because I felt like that was the most important thing. We got the chores. The chores are kind of like a given. I don't really even count them in the number, but you could say that of course is one of the critical tasks, the chores. And then the other one was text my members. We have a membership, Abundance Plus, and the premium folks can text me, and I made sure I kept up with that. Even, I'm typing with one finger. I've got one finger that can work. My texts are taking forever, but I'm getting it done. And then, I guess there was another critical task. When you're ill like that and sick, and you feel bad. You're the man, you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to do this and that, or you're the woman, you're supposed to do whatever your role is, nurture the children, whatever. You feel terrible. Your number one job is to heal. And it may feel selfish, but how good are you? Ill. It is like the airplane. They say, put on the oxygen mask on you first, so that then you can help others. It sounds so selfish at first, and it feels so selfish. But your number one job is to heal. So for me, it was to make sure I took the supplements we were taking, to make sure I got plenty of rest. I laid in the sun. I got in the Epsom salt bath. I did the sauna. Whatever we were doing at the time to heal. And in the afternoon, I relaxed. I felt like my old man dad toward the end. I was watching TV in the afternoon. You know it's going downhill if Justin's watching TV in the afternoon. But I watched these documentaries, and one I watched was the Garth Brooks documentary. Anybody seen that? That's so good. He would hold up his hands and say, in everything, there's a blessing and a curse. Everything. And think about it. There is. Everything has a blessing and a curse. Not everything is all good. There's always a curse to it as well. But anyway, get those critical tasks done. Your number one job is to heal. I've written down that it's good to have, you know what nature's number one healer is? Sleep, right? But that's the ultimate distraction. So how does nature, my kids will come to me, oh, my knees hurt. And I said, you want me to help that knee? Give me that finger. Start bending that finger back. No. Is it true, Rebecca? She's not. Okay, no, it's not true. Start bending that finger back, and, keep going, and all of a sudden that knee don't hurt no more. You hear all these stories. I mean, I'm pretty sore when I get up out of the bed from the Lyme disease. I get pretty stiff. But when I hear Rebecca say, somebody's driving down the road, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're on a dead-end road, somehow I can just jump out and get moving. Right? You can do things. These military guys, they can do things miraculously while injured. Okay, number 3, disease. So some of you are coming here with disease, some hopefully Homestead and Divvy disease. But I came to it with Lyme disease. When I first got this, it was so debilitating. And I was so tired. We didn't even know it was wrong. I felt like I was 70 years old. I was in my 30s. And I was laying in the bed one night. We were about to go to sleep. And I'm in that beautiful place right before you go to sleep. That wonderful haze. And all of a sudden, Rebecca's nudging me. I'm like, oh, that's not a pet peeve too. Getting poked. And then getting poked when you're about to go to sleep. I said, what? She said, did you put the chickens out? And I laid there and thought about it. No. Now, mind you, I've been tending chickens for what? 7, 10 years? And this is before we figured out you don't have to put chickens up. You just have to make sure their fence is hot. So we're going out putting the chickens up. And I've been doing that 7,000 times. If you put the chickens up and then open them up in the morning, that's 2 visits in a day. That's over 700 visits in a year. If you've been doing that for 10 years, that's 7,000 visits. So I said, no, I haven't put them up. I kept laying there. I was just trying to go back to sleep. She said, well, are you gonna? I thought about this for a second. What's the right answer? This is not a question. I better get this right and I have a 50-50 chance. But I was so tired. I said, no. And she said, well, something's gonna get him. Took a deep breath. Sometimes I wish they'd die. Don't tell anybody that story. The apron-wearing permaculture, chickens in the master, is not to hate his chickens and wish they would death upon them. But I love her more than I love my chickens, so I went and put them up. The yes dear, the garden of peace. I had to tend that garden of peace. I already talked about getting help. Oh, I was walking around the farm. So I talked to him yesterday. Question everything. You're here because you question something. You question conventional health. You question schooling. You question food. I don't know what your question, but your question is something to be here. In this heat, in the middle of the weekday. Is it the weekday? No, it's Saturday now. You could be doing all kinds of other things. You could be at the mall in the air conditioner. Our mall's still going. We used to ride around. My dad used to make us work on Saturday. We went to school all week, and he would slap me on the leg and say, "We the only ones working today." Yes, and it made us so proud. We were so proud of that. That was a bonus. I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay, we're into homesteading. We got into homesteading because she figured out high fructose corn syrup was terrible for you. And we started replacing all our conventional foods with organic. And the bill's going up, and Frugal Joseph's freaking out. Then we see a seed pack in the grocery store, and we're like, wait a minute, this lettuce is $3, or we could buy a seed pack with 100 lettuces in it for $3. That's 100x. We figured that out. We lived in the country, and that's what we called the 50-year-old man who helped us get our garden started. And so, but thankfully, we found the right people. In our research, how do you do a garden? Rebecca found Elliot Coleman, the goat of organic gardening. She found Joel Salatin. We found Greg very early on. We somehow found the right people, and it encouraged us even to question homesteading, how we're doing that. Even the normal way of homesteading. Like you can get into you question something, got into homesteading, you can still question homesteading. Is this the right method? Rebecca and I grew turkeys or ducks for a couple of years. Every year, do we still want to do turkeys? Nah, we're kind of sick of it. Okay, don't do turkey or ducks. Sorry, don't do ducks. So it's okay to keep questioning. I was walking around my farm and I was having a Lyme disease, and I felt like, man, the chickens are over here, the garden's over there. I just feel like this should be connected somehow. And I didn't know what the answer was, but then a friend told me about permaculture. And he turned me on to a Jeff Lawton video, like the grandson of permaculture, and it was so fascinating. He had his chickens in a mobile net, and he was moving them here first, and they were tilling and fertilizing it, and then he moved them out, and then he would plant what he called a food forest. He would plant fruit trees behind them. So the chickens went ahead and mowed and fertilized for them, and they moved on. They were making compost, and then he would plant behind them. And I'm like, oh. And I get into that, and I learned one of the permaculture principles is to make connections. Learn how, if you're going to have chickens and you're going to have gardens, make connections. Figure out what does a garden need? What does a chicken need? How can they complement each other? And so one thing we've come across is our garden, if we have a garden, we have our kitchen garden up front, 7 raised beds. Here's our raised beds. Here's our chickens on wood chips in a run. And the chickens are scratching and manuring that and turning those wood chips and it's getting rained on. Those are the 4 ingredients of compost: nitrogen, carbon, air, and water. And over time, we go out and rake some of the big stuff away and grab that compost and feed it to our garden right there. And from our garden, we'll feed the weeds when the beautiful one's not looking. I don't like tomatoes. Don't throw it at me, Jan. Jan said she has a tomato. I just admitted I don't like tomatoes at a Homestead conference. Okay, I'll sneak and throw a tomato to the chickens because I love chicken more than I like tomatoes. Nature's greatest miracle. A trick. Who likes kale? Who heard this joke yesterday? I'll tell it again. Okay, only one person admitted to liking kale. It's that terrible. We ate it because it was cool, and I was like, the whole time I'm like, this is terrible. This should belong in the Pizza Hut decoration. Anybody old enough to remember? Kale's start is the Pizza Hut direction at the salad bar. Nobody was eating it. We were so much smarter in the 80s and 90s. And then kale became cool, and so we ate it. And then, I found the carnivore diet, and I started getting craving, eating the animals and realizing that's all we need to thrive and survive. And then I realized nature's greatest miracle. You know what it is? Because tell me the truth, if you like kale, who likes kale better than pork? Ain't nobody raising their hand. Oh, we got one. Okay. Feed that kale to the pigs. Nature's greatest miracle. Kale and the pork. Or chickens, okay? All right. I get real excited about that one. Okay, remedies. So some of the remedies we did, I'm not a doctor. We're natural in our ways. We did some, one of the doctors had us on 6 months of antibiotics. We're not the people to take the antibiotics, not even then. But it was so bad, and we were willing to try it. It didn't really touch it. Not even 6 months of antibiotics. feet hurt, back's stiff. These are my symptoms of Lyme disease. Brain fog. I tried to prepare this speech last night, forget it. I said I'll just get up in the morning. I often have to take a nap, sleep 8-9 hours a day, and then sometimes still have to take a nap. These are some of my symptoms. What else we did? We've tried pressure points, we've tried supplements, we did urine therapy. Let's see if she's still paying attention. We did not do urine therapy. Venom therapy. No, we didn't do that one either. Hyperbaric chamber. Diet and movement has been what it has come back to. Or actually, coming across the idea that the body has the power to heal itself. How can you test that better than not eating? Fasting. There are so much miraculous things happen when you fast. You regenerate cells, you cleanse your immune system, you reset your immune system. It's amazing. I mean, it sucks, but it's amazing. Especially when nobody else is fasting. I definitely become irritable Justin. And while everybody's eating, I just got to go to the bedroom and watch a movie. Just don't watch a movie where they have an eating culture. All right? So in the end, just eating better. The animals, for so long, they were just our energy. They were our energy. We all know that. Food is energy. We want to give our children the best energy, and they were that. But when I learned that the beef is the superfood, and eat the liver, it is the #1 superfood. Okay, not kale, liver. And you start eating those organs, you start eating all the meat, you really can just thrive. I didn't say to survive, I said thrive, doing just that. Now it gets boring after a while, so you want to, especially if not everybody's doing it, you introduce some carbs and have a little bit of veggies or fruit. But when I look at those animals differently now, they're so much more precious to me now. Because not only are they my energy, they are my medicine. And I love them so much, and I care for them so much, and I get to attach to them so much. Don't be afraid to love your animals. Do not be afraid to name your animals. Those on the small scale, I can never name an animal. Or I'm going to name it A1, or pork chop. Name it Aunt Phyllis. After your great aunt, in honor of her. And then, when you're having supper, we're eating it. You guys want to eat Aunt Phyllis tonight? We got through a stage where we called them moose, or emu, or what else we call them? Bear. And we'd have guests, and we said, we're going to have emu tonight. Why? Because they're giving you the ultimate sacrifice. The least that you can do is be somewhat uncomfortable on harvest day. I insist on killing all our animals we're going to eat. I insist on pulling the trigger, slitting the sheep's throat, and the chickens, of course. Confession, very little attachment to the chickens. You do get used to that one. You do 100 at a time, it's the same old thing, okay? Lily's putting the turkey neck skin on her hand, making little fancy gloves. I'm like, yeah, that's my princess. Should I tell this story? I gotta tell this story. This is not in the notes, but you're gonna like this. Lily is where's she at? She is my princess cowgirl. She's prissy, but she's not afraid to put the turkey neck on her hands and have a little fancy glove, okay? She went out, we were looking at the bull one day, and she's sizing him up. This is classic princess cowgirl. She looks at that bull and she says, Papa, when we harvest him, can I keep his balls for a purse? Yes. Savage. But also very resourceful. And I learned, and I would have said, if I would have said go ahead, she would have went out there after it, you know what I mean? I learned later, that's a thing. The Native Americans saw that too. We're so disconnected, we don't see that. And they saw that. This is the perfect shape of the bag. And and could hold water, and you didn't have to, sew it, seal, and it would just be a perfect. So actually, when we harvested stud muffins, we cut the scrotum, and we gave it to him to tank. Lily's got her a stud muffin purse. That's a good bonus. You guys like that one, didn't you? Okay. Oh, we forgot when I gotta quit.
9 minutes.
Oh, 30 minutes? I'm trying to figure out if I have a bonus story or not about Lily. Maybe we'll come back to it. Remind me. Okay, older. What do you do when you get older? Rebecca and I had this moment, it wasn't too long ago, where we found ourselves fantasizing about, one day we'll just have one cow, maybe a couple of steers. We'll just need our raised beds. And I'm like, I caught ourselves for a moment. I'm like, wait a minute. You're visioning and getting excited about downsizing. I feel like we had hit a plateau, a moment, right? Because our kids are growing up. They're going to be, the boys are milking the cows now. When we came here, I keep pinching myself. You hear me talking about it in the vlog because I'm in that stage. My boys are now 17. I got 3 teenagers. What a wonderful age. Don't let anybody tell you to don't dread those ages. Make it your family culture that the teenage years are the best years, because they are. And they're milking the cows. I'm cooking. Rebecca's planning. The boys are milking the cows. Before I know it, I look out the window and the boys are washing the car, loading it. I didn't even ask them. So, but we're getting in that stage where we can see it, that it's shifting. They're starting to take more of the role. They're becoming the bosses, and I love it. And Rebecca and I are fantasizing downsizing instead of upsizing. We were always like, what Rory spoke to is like, we were always envisioning the couple of cows, the 7 freezers full of meat, all the systems in place. We're there. And so now we're at that point of what is our new dream? What is our new vision? So you're getting older. I talked to you guys. I said, well, give me some tips, because you guys got started when you're 60, right? Over 60. That sounds better. You guys were 89 years old getting started. She feels that way. Okay. So she's just, I said, what are the tips? Because I can't be up here claiming that I'm experiencing that yet. And she said, you just do what you can. You don't have to be a hero. You don't have to do it all. You just do what you possibly can. I went and visited my mom from Paris, Tennessee here before we came to this event. She's in her 80s, and she takes us to the back window, shows us, oh look, come here, I want you to see my livestock. And we look out the window, she said, be real quiet. And we look out there, there's a little bird's nest in there. It's a little robin or something, a little egg. She says, that's my livestock. And I noticed on her stoop in the front, she's got mostly flowers. She's homesteading for kicks and giggles. So she's growing a lot of flowers, has her little robin, and but there were some herbs. There were some different kinds of herbs she's growing in just her little container. She's in downtown Paris. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, she's buying strawberries. She's buying oranges, and she's making jams. She's buying peppers at the grocery store and just making jams. Is she a homesteader? Sure. She's at home doing this, and the stead part of homesteading means land. She's tending her land. It may just be a little plot. We had a little container, 5 inches wide, on the Great American Farm Tour. We put it in the dashboard of the bus, planted basil, grew that basil. That was in Iowa. We zigzagged across the country. That basil came to fruition. We're in Wyoming. It's ready. We cut some of that basil. We put it on our homemade pizza. We had pizza from the land. We were homesteading, even in that bus. I would have took chickens if Rebecca would have let me. And California. You can't take livestock into California. One thing we also talked about too, as you get older, you may not have energy, but you have wisdom and you have resources. Oh, and Greg, you're really good about doing that. Bringing in young people. Is this one of your apprentices? Real good. Greg has this wealth of knowledge. He knows how to make money and make the farm pay. And young people are attracted to that. And do you have any land, or do you have any leases under your name?
We have a family farm.
Oh, he's got the 160 acres. Okay, not a good example, sorry. But there are many cases, I'm sure you've had some come through that don't have land, that don't have any leases under their name. You know, they're not on their own yet. And so they're coming to Greg for the wisdom. He's doing something. And, you know, he's putting it out there. You folks that are going to start putting it out there. Where are the young people? Where are they at? Where's my phone at? Oh, okay. So the young people are on the phones. So get on the phones. Greg's not afraid of it. He's out there. He was out there filming something with a young man the other day. Just one shot. Was hit the record on that video and then upload it to YouTube. Okay? Greg Judy's got a YouTube, by the way. Follow him. I'll actually give him some bumps every once in a while. So just search Greg Judy on YouTube. You'll find him. That's it. Okay? Go to where the young people are. You have wisdom, you have resources, and they have energy, and not the resources or the wisdom. And they're attracted to that. You just got to put yourself out there. You got to be known. Joel writes books. That's how the young people find him. He comes and speaks at conference. You got to get yourself out there. Post on Instagram. There's one old lady who you follow on Instagram. Such a fun follow. That old lady that's just partying and having a good time. 95 years old. Do you know her name? Grandma. Oh, I wish we could remember this. That would be a good follow for you guys. It has nothing to do with homesteading, but her grandchildren must be involved or something because it's so fun. She gets on there and talks about, she's 95, she gets on there and talks about her boyfriends and all this and that. Drama. She'll talk about drama with her girlfriends. Going to what?
Going to funerals.
Going to funerals. She talks about it all. She's fun. So get yourself out there, share your resources. You also get into a place of giving. You know, Zig Ziglar used to say, if you want friends, you got to be a friend. You knew that. You knew that. So focus on being a friend, not what friends can do for you, but what you can do for others. Let's go into finances. I talked about how it could help or hurt you. You can spend the $1,800 on the first egg, or you could be like us when we were getting into it. We didn't have any money, but we had to make this happen. So we had this old pallet thing, we had this old dog house, we put that on it, we had some bicycle wheels, and we had our first chick shop. And we moved that thing around, and we couldn't afford to feed the chickens organic, so we started moving the chickens every day, and they were getting more food from the grass and from the bugs. And we went from feeding them all you can eat, and them eating us out of home. The fat old lady hens will eat you out of house and home if you let them, and then they'll slow their egg production. So we rationed it, and then we kept rationing it more and more until we were only feeding them like 1/10 of a pound a day before it affected their egg production. So, and then we don't have the money. I don't want you to say, I don't have the money to feed organic. I don't have the money to buy the steers. I didn't have the money to buy the steers. You know what I did? I said, I don't need 2 steers. I need one for my family, but you better not have one alone. Don't ask me how I know this. You got to get 2. It's easier to raise 2 than 1. Sell that other one. And sell it before you even start. It's a concept. It's the CSA concept. Hey, call them. We didn't have texting then. I called people. And maybe that's more effective because it's harder for them to say no. It's super awkward. But you got to embrace the awkwardness and fear. The awkwardness and fear is not going away. There's no trick against it. Embrace it. Put it on your back and say, I want this. Let's call these people. Call these people. Hey, I'm buying a couple of steers. You guys want to go in on it? I'm selling it in quarters. We're going to buy the steer now in the spring. We're going to harvest it in the fall. I'm going to estimate you're going to get about 100 pounds in your freezer by the end of it. You're going to pay half now. At the time, it was $8 a pound. It would be more like 10 or 12 now. $10 a pound. You'll get the variety of meat. You'll get hamburger, you'll get some steaks, you'll get some roast, you'll get a good mix. If we're under, I'll credit you. If we're over, I'll charge you some more at the end. You pay half now. And so they pay half now, and you're off to the races. You can buy your little fence posts. You can buy the water troughs. Certainly don't buy a tractor. Don't buy any permanent infrastructure. Just mobile thing. People, do not be deceived by the devil-eyed goats. They are not easier than cows. Do not get into goats as you think. Oh, it's so little. It's not going to hurt anybody. It will find I saw a goat within 5 to 10 minutes at a friend's house get out in 3 different ways. I saw that goat go over, I saw the goat go under, and I saw the goat cook somebody with its devil eyes to pick it up and take it out and panic. It escaped in 3 different ways. Get the cow. You can keep a cow in with one single strand of electric fence with little plastic post. When I first started, I put them out in our little 2-acre little spot I had for them. I got a water trough. I got one of those 3-way mineral feeders at Tractor Supply, put some salt in it and some kelp in it, and just dragged it around. I took a garden hose from our outdoor hydrant and ran it out to them. Now we're on gravity-fed water from the mountain. Sometimes we still have to go back up to the well sometimes, but I dragged that trough around. I moved them every day. I had no idea. Is this paddock big enough? Is this paddock too small? I had no idea. Sometimes going into spring, I'm still a little nervous after doing it for years, but you just figure it out. If you're moving those cows every day, you have 365 days to get better. Okay, and if you made a mistake, you gave them too little one day, you just make the paddock bigger next. If you gave them too much the next day, just make the paddock a little smaller the next. Of course, if you want to get into nuances about that, sure, go consume some of Greg. How many times are you moving those cows every day now? 4 times minimum. I love it. I love it. Now, this is the cool thing about Greg. I had a friend of mine want to go film him, Mike Dixon, the farmer. And they got together and they said, Mike asked him, when do you want to meet? And Greg said 7. And Mike shows up at 7 and Greg's not anywhere to be found. He calls him up. I'm 7, where you at? Greg's like, 7 p.m. So, hey, who says you have to get the butt crack of dawn? I mean, not that he doesn't, I don't know what you do, Greg, but the point is, I mean, you might move, but what time do you move? 7, 10, 1, and 4. So, all right. Let's go to I'm almost there. Did I talk about? Where was I, Becca? Overwhelmed. Have we talked about overwhelmed yet? No. Okay. So you guys know that feeling in spring if you've done this for a while? In spring, everything is happening at once. You've got all these important things to do all at once and you don't have enough time. Well, sometimes you can start having that feelings more and more throughout the year until you have this overarching feeling of overwhelmed. One thing you can do during that overwhelmed time is always remember your goal. Always then prioritize according to that goal. If your goal is really to grow, I had a meeting with somebody, one of our members or something we were talking about this, and I said, what are your goals? And he just wanted his family to stop eating he was into homesteading to not have to consume GMOs. I said, there are a lot easier ways to do that. You can just go to the grocery store and just get organic produce and do that. So what is it really? He's going to have to find a bigger reason, or he just needs to go to the farmer's market and get his food. So find your reason. And it might change. Ours was, Rebecca wanted to eat healthy and I wanted to save money, so we started. And then I got on the health train and we were doing it for our health. What? Yeah, she'll say that's the biggest joke of homesteading. You do it, you're frugal, and then you come across some surprises. And then you have the $1,800 egg. So if that starts happening all the time, listen, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to downsize. I think in that same meeting with the members, the guy was talking about the GMOs, another guy was telling me he had 40 goats. So I was real happy when he told me he was going to downsize. But if you're growing food, if your goal is to grow food for your family and you've got 40 goats, and it turned out he doesn't eat them, that's part of the problem. They mesmerize you with those eyes, and they're so cute, and then you won't even kill them and eat them when it's time. But he lost his vision. You know, he got into market to sell them. But that's not why he started, and that's not what he really wanted to do. He really wanted to grow food for his family, okay? So sell the goats, get some sheep. They'll stay in even if the fence falls over. Especially if you get them from Greg. And then you got them in one strand. You're at one strand now with your sheep? Yeah, sheep are so amazing. They taste so great. More people eat the sheep. Sheep also eat poison ivy and bramble, and they'll also underbrush for you. Okay, so it's okay to slow down. I think they'll slow down Farmstead. She has an Instagram account. She's a writer, beautiful writer. And her husband were farming it and doing it on 100 acres. And they said, this is the dream. We're doing it, but it's just turned into the nightmare. Right? Some of you found yourself pursuing the American dream, and you realize now it's the American nightmare. And that's why you're here, because you need a change. And that's okay. And even when you're into homesteading, you may need a change. They've downsized, and they've never been more happier. They found an old house that they could fix up themselves, and it's a downgrade. You know, they even had he's a doctor. You know, they could afford what they were doing, but it's like, what are we doing with our lives? You're out there. I've been out in the noonday sun planting strawberries. That's when you're really going to say, what am I doing with my life? That's okay. Ask yourself that. But you know, if you're out in the noonday sun, what am I doing with my life? Planting those strawberries. Also ask yourself, first thing in the morning after you've had your coffee, what are you doing with your life? You know, balance it out, okay? You might just be in some mood. It's okay to slow down. I met a guy on the Great American Farm Tour. He was a fan. People could apply to be on our tour, and we had farms we wanted to go to. We want to go see Polyface. We want to go see Greg. We had these farms, but in between, we want to go to somebody in every state. So we had people apply, and there was this guy in New Hampshire, Minnesota, and they had a swimming pool. Yeah, we're going there. We got little kids. We're going there. And we go there, and he's an IT guy, and he's raising sheep, and he's trying to have a farm. Randy Kleiman. He's still my good friend today. Actually, by the way, I'm editing. Rebecca's inside socializing, I'm out editing. He's out there with me. And all of a sudden, maybe he needed to get this off his chest. I don't even think we were talking about it. He said, you know, it gets minus 60 in Minnesota. Everybody laughed. Anybody from Minnesota here? There was a few people. I said, I'm editing, and I stopped. Wait a minute. Don't bad things happen at minus 60? He said, yeah, your car will start and your face freezes off in 3 minutes. And I said to him, you know it's a free country. You can move south. Said that to the people in Arizona who only rains 3 inches a year. You know, you can move east, where water magically falls from the sky. Anyway, Randy got to a point where his kids were getting older, they're getting into teenage years, and he realizes, I'm going to work, and I'm coming home, and I'm doing this farm thing, and we're miserable. And I'm missing my children growing up. He forsook the homestead, and I couldn't be more proud of him. And we're as good friends as ever. Deep respect for that. So his deeper meaning, you got to remember, your deeper meaning has got to come first. And it doesn't have to be forever. Stop. You can come back. It could be a rest. You probably didn't come here it's okay to quit, but it is. All right, burnout. So what's the difference between overwhelm and burnout? I don't know, but I have a few other points here under it. Maybe we'll figure it out. You got to get to that deeper why. Oh, you can't do this for fear. You know, when I was growing up, I watched the movie Willow. That's aging me. Anybody watch Willow? See those crazy dogs? That scare anybody else for years? Or is it just me? I would go outside and pee and think that dog was going to come around the corner and come nip it off. All right? Frightened forever. And you could run from that dog if that happened. You could run and you would go for a while. We're pretty good sprinters. You like that one? She just crawled to the, excuse me, I'm going to Air conditioning tent. Okay, if I go Bears, Rebecca. Okay. You could run from that for a while. We're pretty fast, but it's not going to last long. So if you're in this for fear, you see it. People got into this from 2020 when we had food shortage. There are a lot of you still here, and good for you. You're likely going to make it. You still got 3 more years, and then that burnout 7 years, and let's see if you make it then. And I'm pulling for you. But there was a lot of people who got into this at 2020 because it was cool. Homesteading became cool. I mean, before, gardening was cool. Martha Stewart had a garden. It's cool. So she accepted. Oprah Winfrey had a garden. You got a chicken, you became the crazy chicken lady, and you're off to the races on homesteading. And chickens are the gateway drug to homesteading. So you get into all kinds of things after that. But, so, where was I going with that? Burnout. Okay. Oh, fear. So if you're coming into fear, 2020, I'm afraid we're not going to have food, there's food shortages. That's only going to last you so long. My mentor, my spiritual daddy, he'll tell me, you can't be running away from something, you've got to be running to something. You guys heard that, some of you are quoting that with me. So you got to find that deeper why that gets you through. Number 8, natural disaster. A lot of people are asking me, how are you doing after the hurricane? Did I already say this joke? I already said this joke. We don't have hurricanes until we do. I said that joke. Okay. We had this Hurricane Helene. We got 32 inches in 2 days. 32 inches of rain. We normally get 40 inches of rain in a year. Okay, we did our little prep. We get hurricane residuals. We've had 18 inches of rain in a week. So we prepared for that. And there are things you can do to prepare for that. That's pretty bad. Bad things happen with 18 inches in a week. Really bad things happen, we found out, with rain, 32 inches of rain in 2 days. So we get 32 inches of rain in 2 days, and make sure I include everything. We lose, I mean, our little creek is like 4 or 5 feet wide. That creek became 50 feet wide, 12 feet deep. It became insane. We lost the 50-foot greenhouse. We lost our bees. We lost our turkeys. Turkeys are not the brightest. I swear the turkeys must have just put their wings out and the wind took them away. I mean, the chickens are smart enough to get under the coop and this and that, but the turkeys didn't make it. And what else? We lost the bridge. We lost the driveway. We lost power for 15 days. Oh, we lost our pole barn. We deep fed our animals in the winter, and we lost a quarter of the pole barn. I mean, we got concrete slab on it this thick, and the water walked. I mean, we're away from it. We're 25 feet away from the creek. We're not in a floodplain. They don't offer you flood insurance. We're not in. It's not up. I mean, you could ask for it, but they look at you like you got 3 heads. It washed underneath that, took all soil away, 2 poles away, and collapsed the concrete, and took a quarter of our hay for the winter. And what? Oh yeah, not to speak of 2 acres probably of compost or topsoil. Some of our best pastures are on the lower parts, and it's washing out the topsoil.
And you never missed a day of vlog.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh yes, thank you. She said I never missed a day of vlog. I did go to 3 days instead of 5 during that time, but. And I thank you guys for watching and cheering us on. A lot of people I found out, the news wasn't covering this. When I remember when we got the internet back after 4 or 5 days, we borrowed a Starlink from a neighbor, and it was weird because we were in this like survival mode, battle mode, and you go to Instagram, there's nothing about it. And people were finding their news on YouTube. So people were searching for Hurricane Helene and finding their news on YouTube. And so, thank God. It's a blessing and a curse, right? We got the hurricane, but we also got 3 million views on that video. Okay? Something's got to pay for all this repair. Okay? It was not in the budget. But it was. We learned some things. What happened? Life after Helene, immediately. Okay, kids, everybody gather around. Neighbors come in. We had Austin and Ashley come live with us until they had to leave because we had a generator. We have a huge Cummins generator. We eat 2 meals a day instead of 3. It was great. We were so productive there in that time. It just takes so much energy to prep and clean up a meal. Why not go to 2 meals a day? We went to 2 meals a day. We did something called Power Hour. We didn't know when the power was on. How would we be able to get diesel fuel? Let's just put the power on for 2, 4, 6 hours a day, and in that time, get the shower, get on the internet. You know, we're really focused. It was really kind of neat. Some good things came from it. We'd sit out on our porch, and this guy, Chandler, would come visit us every day. We'd say, "What's the news?" And I just felt like my dad back in the day when he was growing up there in the 50s. You know, that's how people got their news. Rebecca and I go on an evening walk after supper, and we'd see other people. It was wonderful. We met a half a dozen people from our street we'd never met before. But then I started realizing we were eating all from our farm. There was no going to the grocery store. We're eating. I love it. We got all this meat. We eat meat. We got meat and salt. We're good. We're good. But then I realized, hey, wait a minute. We got milk on tap. We got eggs overflowing. Now, to be prepared for something like that, you hear about preparedness. You hear, oh, there's going to be a gas shortage this weekend, or a storm coming. You don't just get prepared for that. You have to live prepared for that. I didn't just, oh, hurricane's coming, go out and get a cow in milk. That took years. You could get the fastest growing thing, the meat chicken, and it's a wonder, and it will give you meat in your freezer in 2 months, but still, that's 2 months. 2 months for meat chickens, 5 months before your chicks are starting to lay eggs, 10 months before you're harvesting that pig or sheep, and a year and a half on a steer, years on a milk cow. So people will say to me, what are you doing to be prepared? Well, okay, I have a rooster, I have a boar, I have a bull, and I have a ram. And not only if something were to happen, they're going to keep producing themselves. They don't care. They don't care. I mean, during the hurricane, the cows and the sheep, they're so smart. They break out and they run up the mountain. They know to get the high ground. Turkey's putting their wings out. But it was so overwhelming. We did not have it in the budget. We had just rebuilt our house. We're going to try to pay off that debt. We don't have the budget for this. What do we do? Well, we started to learn. We just looked around and see what we had. Thankfully, we do have a skid steer, and we do have a mini X. And we kept thinking, we need a dump truck. We need a dump truck. There were literally 800 tons of rock and sand and what was soil washed down to the bottom of our property that we needed to move back to be able to get our bridge back to Big Daddy, who lives on our farm, but he can cross the bridge. We need a dump truck. We don't have a dump truck. We don't have the money for this. What are we going to do? We do have a track loader. We're going to do this 1 bucket load at a time. And Josiah, props to Josiah, he put an audio book on and went out there every morning throughout the week and just moved 1 bucket load at a time. I think if he sees another piles of rock, he might quit on it. But he got it done. And if we didn't have the bucket of rock, one of the best advice I got was Rebanks? What's his name? James Rebanks, a wonderful author. Great, you got to meet him. He emailed me, he heard about it, and he said, Justin, you're going to be tempted to build back exactly how it was. But don't fall into that trap. You can use this as an opportunity to rebuild in a better way. And that helped. So between those two advices, you do have this natural inclination of just putting it back exactly. Our creek used to go like this, and then it used to take pretty much a 90-degree angle. And there, we called it the beautiful, pretty place, because you stand there and you see a nice view, looking up at the valley. And it'd be tempting to build that back. Well, one, it's illegal, but two, nobody cared during that time. You just had to do what you did to get things done. That creek now is straight. And that's okay. That's where nature wants it. And I think over time, and it's wider. It's thin, it's not as deep, it's wider. It's gonna be really beautiful. And if y'all were to come visit me in 5 years, you'll never know. Because after that storm, this is a little bonus, on that topsoil, I hay bombed all winter. What are we gonna do with these animals in the winter? They need to do something. Let's put hay on this sand. It was just sand that's left. And we hay bomb with the cows. We hay bomb with the sheep. And if you watch our show now, then we run pigs now through there. And they're manuring and they're stirring in that hay. and that will help that soil retain moisture and capture nutrients. And they're on their nutrients. And behind the pigs kind of stir it up. Well, then we're running the chickens behind them, and they're helping us smooth it out. They don't do it perfect. We go behind the chickens and then smooth it up completely. Then throw in cover crops. That's one thing permaculture taught me. Use animals to do the work of the farm, and plants and animals. So the animals are helping rebuild, and so are the plants. So we're getting the cover crops, the buckwheat, the vetch, the winter rye. These are things that love and will grow in sand. And we're going to build that back quickly. So my point here is, if you live a life of abundance, go towards abundance. Don't run away from the disaster that's coming, from the Armageddon or whatever you might be afraid of. Run towards the abundance. And it just so happens that living a life of abundance lends itself to living a life of preparedness. And you're ready when the disasters happen. We were okay during that 15 days suddenly without electricity, and really not many ways in and out. A lot of the roads were closed. We were okay, and we were to neighbors. You can come and get a hot shower at our place. You can come and get a meal. We borrowed a Starlink from a neighbor. Buddy, we ordered Starlink after that. Because it was rough being in the dark for about 4 or 5 days, and people wondering how we're doing. But now we even have a Starlink, and the power goes out, we're still surfing. We're still surfing the internet. Okay, so preparedness starts now. Yeah, okay. Lastly, it's okay to be sad. If I don't have any solution for you, it's that. It's okay to be sad. It's an emotion. Embrace it. It's okay. We're not always going to have the solution. The Bible says it rains on the righteous and the wicked. Rain in that case was a blessing. So the righteous and the wicked get blessings. So I would assume the righteous and the wicked also get cursed. And bad things happen. God is not a genie in the bottle. But sometimes a lot of people use him that way. Oh Lord, please give us a good day. Please give us this and that. How about that may not be what he wants for you? How about he might want to prune you? How about it might be like lifting weights and training. It sucks. But you build muscle and strength. So in suffering, we build character. Deep, deep character. Give me any day somebody who has suffered and been through pain for conversation or for working a farm or for partnering with. Give me the person who suffered. I have my children do things they don't want to do. I make them do something hard every day because doing hard is good. And who are going to be the bosses one day? The kids who are able to do something, to embrace the suck every day and push through. Those would be the bosses one day. We had a fan come up to us yesterday. I don't know if you're here, but Rebecca lost her mom to the worst disease possible, ALS. So that is a disease that just slowly takes over your body, takes away your body, but you still have your mind 100%. For her mom, it took her tongue first. She couldn't talk. In years, she was with us in that way. And it was difficult. And I can't imagine a person who has that. That would just be the worst thing you can imagine. Especially because you still have your faculties. And you can still think, but you just can't move. Your organs are still just fine. Somebody came up to us and immediately tearing up. And she tears up, Rebecca tears up. We don't even have to know what she's saying. And her dad had it. And he passed away. And I can't even imagine for a dad. The dad is supposed to be stronger than you forever. I found comfort in my dad. When we would walk the fairgrounds and I was little, I can remember, Dad, hold my hand. And he would hold my hand and I'd say, hold it harder, hold it harder. And he'd let go and then he'd release it. I said, no, hold it harder. It's an awful day when you become stronger than your dad. And thankfully my dad went faster. He went downhill and he was gone in 3 weeks. And I never tested it. I shook his hand early on, and yeah, it's still stronger. After 3 weeks, I didn't even want to find it. Right? It's hard when your parents become weaker than you, especially from my point of view, from a man to a father. What are you going to say? Don't say anything. How do you help somebody who's hurting? Don't say anything. Don't whip out the verse, oh, good things, all things end up for good for those that love God. Don't whip that one out. That's not the time. Be quiet. Shut up. They just hugged. Just hugged. What did Lot's friend do? They went and sat with him for 7 years. Or not 7, was it? No, 7 days. 7 years sound a lot better, but 7 days. When I lost my father, Arthur from Art and Bree, Jason from Sutherland, Ben, Holler. A guy doesn't know what to say anyway. A guy doesn't know what to say. So you just sit there in quietness. And there's something very peaceful and satisfying in that. The worst I can imagine, a fan came up to us at one of these events and tears in his eyes, and we're feeling the energy. We're already tearing up. We don't even know what the heck he's got to say. He lost his 16-year-old. What are you going to say? We just hug. We just cry. I didn't notice me. I'm crying. Just cry. Just cry with each other. The end. No, you cannot end there. You gotta have some sort of happy ending. Okay. So, finally, what I did with Lyme disease, I fought it and blamed it and complained about it and was hindered by it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do the permaculture thing. And the permaculture thing says turn a problem into a solution. If you have slugs in the garden, you don't have a slug problem. You have a duck deficiency problem. So you get some ducks and they eat your slugs. Okay, that's the stick of permaculture. So I started to say, well, how can I turn Lyme into a problem or a solution? How can I thank Lyme disease? I even made a video on this on YouTube if you want to look it up. I think I said, what did I call it? Finally, I think Lyme disease or something. Well, if I didn't have Lyme disease, I would have been a full-on market farmer. And you may or may not know me, probably wouldn't know me. But if I got Lyme disease, I said, I still want to be in the movement, but I can't be quite as physical. So I can work in the morning, but then I kind of need to come in when it gets hot. I need to be in the afternoon. But so what can I do? Well, I can start creating content. And we started out writing blogs, and those got successful. And then the blog concept come along, we started videoing. Long story short, we just blew up. You guys wouldn't know me without Lyme disease. And we blessed so many, but so many have blessed us. So many have blessed us. But watching our videos, it's an income for us. So many of you have joined Abundance Plus. Thank you so much. We got an Abundance Plus t-shirt right here. Thank you. You've bought our books. It's this reciprocal thing. Hopefully we're blessing you and you're blessing us. It's turned into this wonderful, it turned into more than, for us it was a business. For us it was, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. I got to provide for my family. I want to stay in the movement. I'm making vlogs. I'm going to build my audience. I'm going to find out what they need. I'm going to sell them. We're going to trade. I'm going to offer them and build something that I can sell to them and improve their life. And they're going to support us with monetarily. That's what it was. But it ended up becoming more than that. Many of you watch with your children. Many of you like to watch Rebecca and I interact, or how we interact with our children. I like to say you guys came for the chickens. If I ask any of you how you found me, it's like because some chicken. And I'll say, well, why are you still watching? I haven't talked about chickens in a long time. It's all about the cows these days. I think you came for the chickens, but stayed for the family. So thank you. Thank you for that. So stop fighting it. Befriend it. I befriended Lyme disease. I thanked it. I became grateful for it. I sometimes forget it. Rebecca, Jonah, and I just did a 100 mountain biking trip where we camped and biked in 100 miles of rugged terrain in Pisgah Forest. And we did that for 3 days. That's a feat. We did like 26 miles day one, 31 miles the next day, and 42 miles the next. And it's hurt. And I'm 46, he's 10, he's 17. At one point he's like, Dad, if you're a 10 in pain right now, and effort, I'm probably a 1 or a 2. I'm like, thanks. This is like the last 8 miles. I'm like, thanks for sharing, buddy. Finally, one of the best books. It's going to be in my top 20% of my books. Skeletons of Sahara. It's a survival book. It's about how these guys got shipwrecked on the coast of the Sahara Desert. And this was in like 1800s. Yeah, write that one down. It's such a good book. Listen to the audiobook or read the book. I read it when I was going through reactive arthritis. When you're going through a chronic illness, read about these survival stories. Read the Shackleton and some of these amazing survival stories. And it will encourage you and strengthen you and distract you. Remember, nature's greatest healing, distraction. Watch documentaries, read good books, listen to books, sleep. And in the skeletons of Sahara, it's bad. Okay, it's like in the 1800s. There's going to be tribes. There's going to be all kinds of things they're going to encounter. They're in the desert, so they're at first starting to survive, and then they realize they're not. They realize they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. There's no way. They're out of rations. The sun is hot. There's no way. And they say, finally, they say, we're going to lay down and die. And some of them lay down and die. And one or few of a handful of them say, why lie down to die when I can walk? They kept going even when there was no hope, just because they could walk. So I'll leave you with that encouragement. Don't lie down to die when you can walk. Just keep moving, get going. Thank you for your time. Thank you. You come see us. We're straight that way at the Abundance Plus tent. We'll do pictures, we'll sign stuff, whatever you want to do. We're going to be here until there's no more people in the line. So come see us. We're leaving after that. So you come see us.